Hi everybody, it's Miss Brody coming to you with another fantasy writing lesson. As you can see from the title, this one's about creating meaningful dialogue. So let's think about dialogue in our writing. Dialogue is a part of all narrative writing, but dialogue is not the only part of narrative writing. Narrative meaning, of course, story. If you have too much dialogue, there's just no simple way of saying it. That's just bad writing. If you have too little dialogue, well, that's also probably bad writing because you need some dialogue to tell us or show us what the characters are saying. But we want just the right amount of dialogue. It's something that we need to keep working on, finding that perfect balance. So we don't want too much talking. Some questions to ask yourself. Do you have, when you're writing, if you're noticing that you have a big amount of back and forth talking between two or more characters, where it just seems to go on and on, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, well, you need to try something because that's not good. Make sure your characters are also doing something while they're talking. Don't keep them standing in one place like these guys, just yakking. Have them interact with the setting. Have them move them around, show their body movements, include their actions or expressions to break up all of that talking. Let's see what this looks like. This side is too much talking, just with no break. What should we do? The thistle creatures are approaching, said Priscilla. I'm not sure, said Mr. Beaver. Me neither, said Mr. Fox. If we do nothing, we will be killed for sure, said Mrs. Rabbit. I agree, said Priscilla, but I just can't think of a plan. There must be something we can do, said Mr. Beaver. I think I have an idea, said Priscilla. You do? Yes. That's just too much talking with nothing breaking it apart. And so what can we do to fix it? Well, look here. Here is better. What should we do? The thistle creatures are approaching, said Priscilla. She paced back and forth in the middle of the bushes. I added one sentence of action, okay? I'm not sure, worried Mr. Beaver, tapping his tail loudly. Again, a little more action. If we do nothing, we will be killed for sure, exclaimed Mrs. Rabbit, clutching her smallest baby in her arms. The animals were quiet for what felt like years. I think I have an idea, said Priscilla. The animals all looked at her excitedly. Right? I don't know if I cut out some of the unnecessary ones, right? I don't have to say that she can't think of one. I used an action or a description that they're all sort of standing there. This side is just too much back and forth, with nobody doing anything. They're just sort of standing there, floating around, okay? Let's look at another possibility or a question to ask yourself. Does the dialogue really add important information to your story? Do you really need it? Dialogue is really there to help us hear what the characters are saying, but it cannot replace action, right? Your dialogue helps to explain certain parts of your story and it gives life to your character, but it can't replace action. Action is what drives a story forward, and if your characters are just talking, that means nothing is really happening, and that can be boring. So again, here's the side that I had before. I'm not going to reread it. It's the same thing that I had before, which was just too much talking. And here is my other possibility. I already showed you one, but here's a really different possibility. And it's the one that I wrote before that has much, much less dialogue, where Priscilla, panting and out of breath, stood in the center of the small thicket of bushes, hidden from view from the dragon and approaching thistle creatures. Mr. Beaver, Mr. Fox, and Mrs. Rabbit were there all along with a few more of their kind. Nobody spoke. The air was thick with tension. All of them knew the same thing. If they stayed there, they would soon be discovered and surely die. Now again, in this side, I have Mrs. Rabbit saying that. If we do nothing, we will be killed for sure. This time I had the narrator, sort of me, the author, putting it in. Finally, Priscilla looked at all the animals and took a deep breath. I think I may have a plan, she stammered. Her legs were shaking, but she started to feel her heartbeat slow down. I think we can trick the thistle creatures into following us into this bush, and with the help of some of the digger animals, we may be able to create a trap. Now, again, you might like the other one that I did before. You might like this one better, right? I personally like this one better. I think it's got more to it than just dialogue with a few actions thrown in the middle. But that's your choice as a writer. But this is definitely too much dialogue. A few more tips before we end. How does your character talk? Have you thought about that? Because if you want to be a better writer, you need to start asking yourself those types of questions. Like, what does your character sound like? Why do you need to ask those questions? Well, because if you don't ask those questions, all of your characters are basically going to, quote unquote, sound the same. They're not going to have any distinct personality. They're not going to have any traits really, or no pizzazz. So when you start writing dialogue, think of your characters and make them as real a person as you can, even if your real person is a dragon or an elf. You need to know, what is his or her tone of voice like? Are they a loud talker? Are they silly? Are they serious? Does he or she speak in slang or use more formal words? Like I decided Mr. Beaver was going to be kind of this fussy, smart person that talked in a more formal way. You want to create dialogue that sounds real for that character. And again, you're getting to be better writers. These are the questions that real writers think about, that you don't just not think about it. Okay, another final tip, where I think I'm nearing the end. How does your character act? Again, the more you know about your character, the more you can make the dialogue come alive by adding actions or descriptions before or after what they say. I had Mrs. Rabbit be a very protective mother. So she's like a little bit of a nervous mommy. So she's clutching her baby when she's talking, right? Think to yourself, can you describe what their face looks like while they're talking? Can you picture it when you're writing it? Can you see their expression? Well, include that. Can you add a gesture or an action to go with the dialogue that you write? Here's an example. Tell us, cried Mrs. Rabbit, leaning in closely as Priscilla began to explain her plan. Again, it's just about breaking up some of the dialogue and adding some descriptions, expressions, gestures, or actions. Okay, here's what we've covered. ADD, action, description, dialogue. It's what makes up a whole story. Transitions and paragraphs, flow, right? A little later, suddenly. Setting, every scene needs to have a setting. Show, don't tell, spice it up. Don't be a lazy writer, make sure we can picture it. Finding the heart of your story was yesterday's lesson. Think about the scene of your story that's the most important and stretch it out. Maybe you want to think about using symbols, right, to really push yourself to that next level of writing. And today we talked about using meaningful dialogue. Scenes shouldn't be full of dialogue. You can't tell a whole story with characters that just talk. It's very boring to read, okay? So, time to start drafting. We're down to, this is 4 days left before the end of the week. Push yourselves as always to be the best and do your best and prove to yourself that you're really ready for middle school. Can't wait to keep reading what you're doing. You're doing awesome work, people. Thank you.